Yeah, it was a really good podcast. We talked about a lot of shit. I can't wait for it to.
You can't double.
Damn it! I was in the
clap.
middle of the bit, Marcus.
You gotta finish.
I was in the middle of the bit. I can't do it now. I can't finish it.
Wait, hold
You
up.
fucked it up.
Wait, hold
Come
up.
on,
Wait,
Marcus.
give me 1 second.
I'm just that. Are you recording or you're not? I mean, what's going
I'm recording. I'm live.
Wait, how long have
on? Are you
been
sure
recording?
about that?
Just an hour.
Yeah.
42
real shit.
seconds.
Are you sure about that? Because that was like the fucking 18th time you just fucking clapped.
I think we did that like 3 or 4 times in a row.
You clapped so hard.
Okay,
you
now he's
How is it recording?
Man, you're giving me heartburn over here.
Oh my god! All right, are we live?
Yeah.
All right.
We better be. Because to be honest, we're sacrificing a lot just to be here for you, Marcus.
Like
I had
what?
to not eat my hamburger cheeseburger with macaroni and cheese inside. You know how I can only eat that weekly, okay? And I had to cancel
minute.
that plan.
Are you Scottish, Irish, or from the Bronx?
Like, yeah. What is that?
Yo,
Is
what?
that like actually how you talk?
This is my Puerto Rican friend, Speedwagon. He's from Boston, and he currently lives in Massachusetts. He's Puerto Rican, though, so... Yeah, take it away.
Yeah, we're sacrificing a lot here for you, Marcus. I cannot even watch a Nintendo Direct because I'm here for you. So this is gonna be worth it, okay?
I'm still looking at bondage pictures, by the way.
Yo, are you actually from Boston?
No,
I'm
he's
actually
from
really-
That was
freaking
a
Detroit.
joke. No, that was a joke. He's
Yeah.
You're from Puerto Rico, right?
Born and raised there.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't
But
care.
for some reason, he has that
what
accent.
his
It's actually
birthland
really cool.
is. I want to know where the fucking man lives.
We just said
Puerto
it.
Rico. Let me just
Puerto-
send you my IP and
Puerto Ricola.
Just send you my IP, my email, my Facebook.
Search up what's my IP.
my credit card number, just in case you need to know a little bit more.
Send me a little bit of PayPal. And,
Gotta verify.
All right, so I'll do the intro. What is going on, you guys? This is the Blind Prophet, and I'm joined by 4 beautiful people. We are doing MortalTales, and
Yeah,
today
brother.
the topic of the video is: do superheroes or comic book characters in video games mix?
Oh.
So if you guys would please introduce yourselves.
I'm salty root beer, and I'm fat.
Well, then let's go to me, Speedwagon. I've been friends with Morn for at least last 5 years. He hasn't talked to me till now since he actually really needed me.
Maybe you only respond to me when I need you. I'd be like, hey,
Like the
Speed,
old reliable.
Hey, Speed,
He's
how
the
you?
true superhero.
Like,
It's when
hey,
the planets align.
no, look, 9 out of 10. Hey,
he's the
Speed,
last
how you doing?
superhero.
No response. Hey, Speed, wanna record a video? Real shit?
Real shit.
Hey, Speed, you want to hang? I sleep. Hey, Speed, want to make a video? Real shit.
Yeah, basically.
This is where university working here, Mortal. It's something. I work, you know.
I guess
You do you?
I guess YouTube and podcasts have a priority over university.
Please, when you actually sent that message to see if we were doing the stream, I was in my humanity class at the moment. And
Humanity.
the teacher, yeah, it's humanity class. It's talking about the Greek culture and about Greek culture and Rome and stuff like that. And then you just messaged me, and okay, yeah, sure, I can do a stream with you. About how about later? And sure, I can do that. And the thing is, he then messaged me, yeah, we're gonna go live in 10 minutes. Are you cool with that? And I wait, whoa.
Yeah, that's what he was messaging me. He messaged me, hey, we're live in 10 minutes. Want to come? And I was barely awake. I have a bit of a hangover. I was drunk last night. And I'm like, oh, fuck, sure. I was going to sit down for a bit, but sure. And then I get on, and it's all like, hey, by the way, I'm at university, says Speedwagon. And I'd be like, hey, fuck.
So
2
speaking of
hours.
humanity class, superheroes in video games. Do they do they mix?
Oh, wait, we didn't introduce John.
Oh no, I introduced myself a while ago.
Yeah, you didn't hear me.
You guys were
He's
just
like, I'm
too
busy.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah,
just
got it.
really dumb, so.
And your usual host, who hasn't introduced himself because he likes to indulge in arguments, is Mortalmen.
There's no introduction.
Needs no introduction.
Yeah, for the 200 people.
I guess
so.
Yeah. The 9 people that are gonna watch this,
Yeah,
including myself, 5 times.
I know. I'm
myself.
gonna fall asleep listening to this because I love
I'm gonna
the
fall
sound of my
asleep.
voice.
I'm gonna fall asleep while we're talking.
Bro, you did that last
Just like
night.
last time.
we're just gonna hear him.
I was
snoring.
listening to relaxing instrumental music, and I didn't think it would put me to sleep. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna make that mistake this time. I'm not
we
gonna
were
listen
like,
to that.
yeah, we were like talking, and like, we're salty, and then we brought him in, like we like referenced him, and then we just hear a response, and we're like, I think he's dead, and then 10 minutes later, what?
Fell
Yep.
asleep, you guys. I'm the worst podcast guest ever.
Yeah.
I think that's literally what I said.
Yeah.
You just cut this part out, the past.
So
Apparently now it's a
I
joke.
think the most recent example that we can start with is obviously Spider-Man. I mean,
Well, we could start with that, but like, we can't talk about superheroes in video games without talking about all the old stuff.
yeah, obviously, most definitely, but okay, yeah, we could get to Spider-Man later.
Popeye
Sure,
olive
what should we
oil
start with?
stuff, or do you?
Are you
What?
talking about like the '90s X-Men arcade games, old stuff? Are you
Yeah.
talking about like
Well,
how old are
Spider-Man,
we
like,
going?
Fender
stuff,
phone.
but, like, I'm talking about like old stuff. Like,
Mortal Kombat.
I would say everything up to roughly Superman on the 64.
Oh
like
shit!
like a
How far-
shining
Damn.
example of an
I
argument
have a
against.
strong distaste for Superman.
Yeah, I mean Superman. I think as a character, I don't think has any place in video games. I think every video game he's been in has been received very poorly.
I just
'Cause they-
dislike
all
his
of his-
character as a whole.
You know what?
Hey,
I
I'm
just
turning
like
you up,
as a
Sean.
whole.
What?
Whoa!
Hey,
Oh shit!
I'm
Talk
sorry.
about-
I
No,
actually
yeah,
didn't hear you.
Oh, you're going off script. Look, go to page 7 and start talking about old school video games. So let's see.
Hold on, let me get. Hold on, let me find the script. Hold
Superhero
on.
comic.
This fucking Jeff Goldblum.
recycling jokes of another
Wait, which
podcast.
page? Which page is it?
Fuck. Okay, go to page 12. Okay, we're gonna be talking
You
about.
took that
talking
page
about
out.
Oh my
Okay, page 12 is when we were introducing ourselves, Speed.
Shit.
so long.
Fuck.
Okay, let me get back to the script. Jeez, and we're gonna have to do a redo about this script
Go to
again.
page 15, part 2, section 3.
Clause 7.
Okay, so let's talk
What
about
about
which type of favorite superheroes we like.
I have a question.
That's all script, but okay.
Okay, who had the question
You
here?
miss.
Because they just had they had a question and just went dead silent. So
That's a part of the script. What?
Well.
oh yeah, he says
My
here.
question was how you could misspell caretaker in this sentence.
Yeah, actually, I'm reading it now. It's like Cartaker. Is this Grand Theft Auto?
What?
Yeah.
Cartaker?
Or okay, when you wrote this script for us.
I mean, I had Salty look it over yesterday, but he was.
I didn't read it.
So
I was drunk.
so you're gonna blame the middleman
I was drunk.
for something that you wrote.
I mean, I'm looking.
you
I'm-
wrote-
I mean,
you-
I'm.
you
I'm
fucking
looking.
wrote
I'm looking at
this,
the
man.
Discord avatars. It looks like
You
you the
wrote it.
middleman.
Dude,
Right now,
Mortal.
Salty the M man.
Marcus Minor, calm your shit. Okay, you found me drunk on the street corner. You handed me like sleeve of papers and be like, hey,
Podcast.
proofread these. These are podcast notes. I need you to edit these. You're pretty good at that, right? And I said, sure. And then you just left me. And I just looked at him. I just sat there dumbfounded for 20 minutes.
It was like the menu to TGI Fridays.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck is this? Is this a movie script? And then I just like I edited a couple pages, but I didn't get to everything. I was fucking stoned. Fuck, dude.
Yeah, you took out my page
I wasn't
off and
stoned.
gave
I
to
was drunk.
Steve.
What?
Go blame around here, Mortal. You're the main cast. We're all.
He's blaming
here,
me.
okay?
He's blaming me. I'm the scapegoat, guys.
Hey, I just woke up and I was like, "Hey, podcast today, everybody." They're like, "Sure,
Yeah,
why not 10 minutes?"
Yeah, 10 minutes.
I'm glad to know
Maybe
that
2
Mortal,
hours
your
now.
profile
Maybe
pic,
1 hour.
it's definitely you because look, you're pointing blaming at us.
No, he's blaming the viewer.
He's blaming the view. Wow, Mortal, does your hypocrisy have no
Oh.
bounds? You're just gonna blame everyone.
It's a fucking
You were the one who.
You.
No, this is probably partly my fault because I was like hounding him all morning to find out when the fucking podcast was. So I take partly some of the blame.
Yeah, I just wake up, I
apparently.
answer the phone, like, I don't know why, but, like, recently, like, every time I wake up, there's just phone calls, and I woke up and answered, "Hello, when are we gonna do a podcast?" Huh?
He was like, "When I'm not dead."
Yeah, I was done, I was like, when are we gonna start? I was like, when I'm not a zombie.
Yeah, that's what you said.
I
I was like, "Come on, do it.
heartburns right
Do
now.
I'm
it.
here. Record me.
Ugh.
Get to the podcast."
You get to the podcast.
You do the podcast?
What kind of wallpaper I want for my fucking computer? It's like nothing.
Here, let's not
get
try
that
to
second picture
derail
down,
from the
dude.
subject.
The white guy with like the half of him that's really buff and the half of him that's like
Speaking
really
of
skinny. You should
white
just
guy,
make that.
superhero is that? Is that
speaking
a
of
villain?
white guy and
No,
buff,
we don't
there's
make
a lot
that
of
a
villain.
there's a lot of superheroes.
Make that the thumbnail. Make that the thumbnail.
What?
Make that picture the thumbnail for the podcast.
Which one?
That would be the perfect
second
thumbnail.
to-
These superheroes of video games.
the second one to the bottom, the one right above SpongeBob.
Are you just gonna put the profile pics on top of the muscles just to insinuate?
I got muscles on top of my muscles.
My muscles have muscles, and they're flexing and stealing your girls.
Welcome
God.
to the Salty Spittoon out there for you.
How tough am I?
Guys, let's get back on the script.
How tough are you?
Yeah,
All right.
we're way off topic here. I'm just
What were
saying.
we talking about? Oh yeah, we were talking about
Talking about-
how much Superman sucks in video games.
What? Get
Not
out.
just Superman, not just Supermans. Fucking birds.
Birds?
I've never heard. What universe is words from?
Birds.
So,
It's
uh,
birds, dude. You know that hero, right? The one that saves people and
Does
flies
he have-
around.
Does he have a
What?
video game?
Yeah,
It's a
yeah. It's
bird.
called.
It's a
it's called
plane.
Birds.
No, it's super
Irrelevant.
words.
It's actually just birds. It's like tons and tons of birds.
All right, so Superman.
I'd
And,
say
I think
hate
the
Superman.
reason
A
like,
video game.
Superman's too OP to have a game for.
No,
I think that
No.
it's not just that
not just
though.
that. Superman's
the
just
fact that-
boring.
Not even.
Well, Like okay, so we're not
Superman's extra
talking.
boring.
We're not talking about Superman as a character. We're talking about
Yes.
how well like superheroes meld with video games. And I do agree with your points. I do think Superman's boring. I think
No,
he's
he's
totally
not.
for games. But
So
hey,
we're
just think-
we're trying to stay out of the
Alright.
the characters themselves, but more
Yes.
of their powers and
we need to.
video games.
Well,
I think
I don't
in
think that.
regards
I
to
think-
Superman, it's hard to really capture a good video game with him because he's literally what everybody says is wrong about video games. He's OP. I mean, the only thing that you can fight him with is Kryptonite or somebody else from Krypton who's like pretty much equally as strong as him. There's like what's so cool about Spider-Man and him getting a video game and him pretty much in anything is he's so vulnerable. Like he's just a kid. Like he's still trying to find his way. This Spider-Man, he's already established. He's already Spider-Man for like what 8 years now.
Yeah, 8 years.
So he's not as vulnerable, but there's always been that vulnerability with Spider-Man. So everybody that he goes up against, he's confident, but there's still that he could lose everything. He's got those people that he loves. That's why he has to stay anonymous. And I love that scene in the first remake Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man, when like Gwen Stacy comes to his house after her dad's funeral and she's like, everybody was there, like freaking 2 teachers showed up, like you weren't there. And he's always got to balance everything. But Superman, like what does he have to lose? You know, like there's
His wife,
nothing
His family, his friends. motherfucker.
engaging about Superman to really want you to play a game. Like, you're gonna kick everyone's ass. That's it. Like, you know. So I think it just depends on who, and I would like to not even just talk about superheroes and like stuff like that, but just comics in general. Like, if you look at like Predator, like the Predator video games, those were pretty dope. Like, especially Concrete Jungle, like that was, if you were to remake that for today and make that a video game, like that would be really legit. Or even like some of the other stuff, like not just superheroes, because superheroes, I think it kind of like falls into the same thing with Superman. Like, if you were to make another video game with like Wolverine, like he kicks too much ass. There's nothing vulnerable about him unless some guy comes out of nowhere with his kryptonite, which is adamantium, shoots him in the head or something, you know. Like, there's really nothing to make it like challenging, I guess you could say. Like, Sean, it'd make it too easy. Like, just, you know, like it. What is there to really play? You know what I mean? Like, Batman's dope because like Batman, like obviously it's easy to say like, yeah, you could get your ass kicked if there's too many people. Like, Batman's dope. He's got all his gadgets. He's just a regular dude.
He's still overpowered on his own video games.
I don't think that's really that big of an
Arca Games.
Having an overpowered character, I don't think is an issue with whether or not a game can be good. Like, there are tons of like media that are just like about someone who's crazily overpowered, and the draw for superheroes in video games is to play as the superhero. I think that there's tons of people that would love to play a good Superman game, even if it was completely overpowered and easy to do the game, easy to beat the game. I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is everyone like wants a superhero game, and the people who are in charge of making superhero games know that, so they just churn them out to make as much money as possible and put in the least efforts they can just to make as much money as they can. It's like I don't think there's like any passion behind most of the superhero games because they're really big. Like, Superman is just an iconic comic book superhero. Even if you love him or hate him, he's
everywhere.
Someone can say his name, you know who it is.
Yeah.
A game with him in it.
I would have to agree
like,
and disagree
well,
because like if you look at games like
though.
the Lego like DC games and
Lego?
stuff like those, like yeah, they have like a lot of those Lego like
Yeah.
Marvel, like the Avengers, the
Should we
DC.
even count those though?
I don't want to count.
They're
those.
superhero
I don't think
games.
so. I think that those are like. I mean,
But
if
in
you
terms
could,
of,
if you
like,
wanted
the
to stretch it,
quality.
but like those are Lego games. They're very similar to other Lego games.
Yeah,
Like,
but they're superhero
Legos.
games. Like they're
But they're not. They don't. They're
Well,
not super. Like, you can literally. It'll literally be the same game if you change the superheroes with like normal people.
no, because you can fly, you can be Spider-Man, you can
cannot
be
fly
Thor.
like that. You could probably like soar in like your normal movement, like that's your animation.
No, there's like the Avengers games where it's like an open world. You can fly, you can go on top of like the Avengers tower, you can do. They're like legit like superhero games, just Lego. They're pretty dope, but I kind of get what Salty's saying as far as like where they just kind of crank them out because like even with those they don't do anything different. Like they're just they've made them once and like maybe they bring in new costumes and maybe they bring in like stuff like it is lazy. Like they don't and it's Lego. I mean, it's not even like a legit game. Like most of the characters barely talk. Like they've barely started putting in lines in Lego games now.
And even if it is, it's from the movies.
Yeah, exactly. It's like exactly the movie lines. So they don't do a lot to make you feel very like super or to make you feel like you're playing from the comics. But I think like if you look at the direction that the Spider-Man has taken, I would have to disagree with you on that point because even the director at Insomniac was like asked if they'd like to do a Spider-Man game and he said no at first. But he asked everybody in the studio, and they were like totally down with it.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like,
you look at their passion for Spider-Man and what they're willing to do, how they're willing to take it. You look at like in the beginning, you see the freaking comic book flip, like that. It feels like you're playing Spider-Man. You're playing a comic book video game. You're not just playing a game that's being cranked out just for the money. Like this
Well,
seems like it was.
like I'm talking about like in
You
general.
get the Stan Lee cameo, like
most,
you know.
Wait,
most
there's a Stanley cameo on the game?
Yeah.
Oh, really now? Oh, that's a nice
most
detail.
Uh-oh.
superhero video games are like
Yeah, he was in a
Run of the
video game,
mill.
but not in his last fucking Marvel movie.
I know. I was kind of
One was
disappointed about that.
like
Deadpool 2. He was just in a fucking mural.
Oh.
Damn, Salty can't even get a full sentence out.
count
my bad.
a little numbered meter of the number of times I've tried to say something.
My bad.
I
I'm
think
sorry.
it's like 30 something now. You're good. I just don't. I try to say something, but then I just don't like it popping up with the podcast. You know.
Yeah.
So like my point was that in general, like superhero games are like too easy to like make and market. It's like you don't have to commercialize a Superman game. You just put it on the shelves, people see it and like, oh, it's Superman. But like, you know, like it's just a bunch of run-of-the-mill games, a bunch of passionless developers. Superman or Spider-Man, this new Spider-Man game is an example of how it can be done correctly. The people that are passionate about the franchise behind actual making the video game. But most people who make superhero video games are just, hey, can we make some money out of this? They're not like excited to do it. They just do it to throw out something and make some money. That's what the point was. Like sometimes you have like passionate developers who make something that's good. Like I think that most Spider-Man games have actually been received pretty well, even like as early as the GameCube
I like
Spider-Man
the
games. I remember,
games.
yeah, I remember playing that one on the GameCube, but it was fun.
Yeah, I
Like-
remember playing a lot of those on PlayStation 2, I think.
Like I played
I think-
Spider-Man
I
1,
think
2,
the,
3, Web of Shadows,
yeah.
Friend or Foe. I think I played all of
Yeah,
them.
they're good.
Yeah.
And the Batman Arkham Asylum video games, those are exceptionally well done. I haven't played them, but I've seen them, and they look really good.
They started
think
a
the
whole
problem-
brand new genre of gaming.
Yeah. I think the problem is a superhero game needs to be good. It like take out the superhero and just leave the game. And if it's not good on its own without the superhero elements, then it's not a good superhero game, you know? Like I think that's the problem. People are relying too hard like on something having a superhero in it. Like, hey, let's put Superman in this, we'll sell it. They're not like trying to make the game good. You know what I mean?
I kind of agree and disagree. I don't know any of the developers. Yeah, I don't know any of the developers to know like, you know, where their passion lies, but I know that a lot of the games like, you know, like just don't resonate well like with me. And I'm a big comic book person. I mean, I started a whole business making wallets from comic books. So I love comics. And I would love to see these characters represented well. And when you get games like Injustice or games like that, like they don't, to me, like it's like you might as well be playing Mortal Kombat. Like why even bother with, you know,
That game is
Oh,
dope
Injustice?
as fuck.
Or even like the Marvel versus Capcom. Like I might as well be playing Tekken or something. Like there's really nothing intriguing me about those to invest me into getting that whole new game if I already have another game similar.
I like
You get what I
Injustice
mean?
a lot.
That's like a subjective thing though, because like there's a lot of people that love Marvel vs. Capcom. There's a lot of people that love Injustice. Like
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah,
is
I
there
know.
anything that stand out to those rather
don't-
than Street Fighter
Well,
or Tekken, these games that have been around
I don't know
longer?
if there needs to be. If
yeah,
you think
like
about it,
it's dope the fact that you can play your
I
own
did-
character, like your own favorite superhero.
I did say like a bit ago
So then you,
that like
you
that game has to be
contradict
good
yourself
without-
basically because you're saying these games are just
Listen.
being cranked out for the marketing sake, and
Listen,
now you're telling me that the games are
okay.
cool.
The game.
Okay,
I just
so,
said
I'm not
Injustice.
saying-
Just
I know,
No, I'm
Injustice.
talking about. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking
Wait,
about Salty. Like his
What?
point
I haven't
earlier.
played those games. I haven't played those games. But my point is, like earlier, I said the game has to be good without the superhero part, you know. And if people like Injustice, I mean, there might be like game mechanics
It's not like you
in the
watch
game that are
Marcus.
good without the superhero.
Why?
part,
Why do you
know?
think
Like,
it's me?
It's like a cranked out.
What
I don't
is
think
it
it's just
then?
cranked out, you know. Like those
When-
kind of games have a lot of work in them. I'm talking about like in general, like most superhero video games. You know, like fucking the X-Men 3 game. I mean, it was okay, but it was like basically a run-of-the-mill action game. It wasn't just similar to some games; it was just similar to a lot of them.
I think my favorite X-Men game, I forgot what it was called, but it was like a co-op X-Men game where it was like a 4-player co-op game, and like the game was like
That one was fun.
top
that one was
view,
fun.
like the one where it's like
Yeah,
dude, that game was so
X-Men
damn fun.
Apocalypse, I think.
I don't remember. I'm actually gonna look that up right now because I
It's an
love
old-
that game. It's an old game, like it's Xbox original Xbox game.
Yeah, Xbox, PS2.
I want to say I know what you're saying, but the way you're going about it is different than how I think of it. I feel like that the quality of these superhero games are just misused by their developers. Like Insomniac, they did a really good job with this Spider-Man game. I really want to play this game. And I don't know what the last superhero game was, and I don't want to count these fighting games because they're just different.
They're basically reskinned fighting games.
As an actual superhero video game, I don't know. I want to say either Wolverine or Spider-Man 2 way back on the PlayStation 2. That Wolverine.
No, the last superhero game should have been the last Arkham, right? Arkham Origins.
Oh well, yeah, right. Fucking the Arkham games.
Because that was PS4. That was a PS4 one.
Are you talking about like the last superhero game released?
Yeah, that should have been the last one, right?
No?
Before Spider-Man.
Yeah, it was.
It's not
that was
exclusive.
Arkham, I think.
It's on
No,
Xbox.
it's not an exclusive. But yeah, that should have been the last one.
Hey, by the way, off topic about the X-Men games, yeah.
Oh, or maybe Deadpool.
Deadpool,
Oh yeah,
what?
that's
I don't know which one came first.
That was 2013, dude.
That thing came out a while ago.
that was
That was
a long
2013.
time.
It was
Yeah.
like 5 years.
That was a remaster.
Mm.
Oh, remaster.
Don't count.
2016 was it, or was this year?
Yeah, it was around like launch time of the new consoles.
So 2013.
Yeah.
I think that was just a game. I don't think that was a remaster.
No, that game came out a few years before. It was a current gen game. Then for some reason, people wanted it on current gen. But back to topic. Trying to remember what I was gonna say.
Something
What I
about
can say is that one problem that the superhero market has these days is that it's oversaturated at the moment.
Really, you think it's oversaturated? I don't think it's done enough in video games. I think.
Well, not in video
Lego-
games, but I think in another type of
Lego-
medium, like for example, the Marvel movies. Like you see them a lot of superhero movies recently, so.
Well, yeah, but there's a
gets
difference
so-
between
so
wanting
are
to
you-
watch your favorite hero and wanting to play as your favorite.
No, but I
Yeah.
think that's what he's trying to say is like it's so saturated that maybe it's. Are you trying to say like it's hard to make an actual game that would like appeal to certain fans?
Yeah, somewhere around that.
Yeah, I get that because like if you look at it, like me, I'm not too big of a DC person, so this Spider-Man appeals to me more than if they were to make like another Batman or if they were to make like a Wonder Woman or something like that. There's so many characters that they could take from.
There was a Captain America game.
That game was awesome.
Oh God,
That game was
what is
awesome.
this? Don't look at it. Don't look at the screen share. Don't look at that. Don't look at that.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to censor right there, Marcus.
I am not screen sharing this. I'm not. No one can see Discord.
You weren't recording?
I'm recording. It's a podcast, you idiot.
That's what you're
Go to the
supposed-
one right next to it. The one right next to it. No. The one. No. Go to the left. It's Marcus.
Like you say, Marcus is.
So glad I'm not looking at Discord.
Okay, I'm just gonna give you a recap of what it is, Marcus. It's imagine Will Smith's face, but
Yeah.
his eyes and his mouths are just
very tiny,
small.
very small.
I have no idea how that relates to me, but alright.
But yeah, I think these dedicated games like Spider-Man or Batman, I don't think they really need to be like, oh my god. I don't think they need to be like open world, or anything like that. Like, they need to be dedicated. They need to be focused solely on those particular characters that they're trying to provide.
I'm turning
I can't focus with Gordon Ramsay looking at me like that.
Don't look at it there, you stupid.
I brought up something because I can't focus with that beautiful face. I can't focus with that beautiful face. It's impossible.
I'm saving this fucking picture. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Say what you're gonna say. Say what you're gonna say.
But yeah, like. Okay, go ahead.
One other thing that needs to sell the superheroes is at least make the gameplay at least smooth as hell. At least the mechanics.
Yeah.
For example, the Spider-Man mechanics, like his web sling. I've seen gameplay of it on Twitch, and I've seen people use the web sling from building to the building, and it's so smooth. There's tons of different animations for every time.
Really fun.
On the first Spider-Man game, on the Spider-Man 1, 2, 3, and Spider-Man 1, that game, like, I was a little kid, so I loved it, but like looking back at it, it was such a horrible Spider-Man game. Like, you can literally just swing off of thin air, and then like it was so weird. Like, you always had to be on a rooftop. Like, if you went down to a sidewalk, or if you went so say you're on a skyscraper, right? And you know how you can crawl. So say if you kept on crawling down, before you even get halfway down to the sidewalk, the level would restart. You're done. You died.
Oh, you're talking about Spider-Man 1 on the PS2?
I think so.
Oh, dude, those games were goofy.
And then Spider-Man 2, hey, you're allowed to go on the sidewalk now. And then Spider-Man 3, they added, hey, you can swim now.
Really? You can swim? Fuck that game.
Yeah, Spider-Man 3,
That's his true evolution.
Yeah, I stopped this.
Evolving through time.
Yeah, and then Spider-Man. Let me see. Spider-Man Web of Shadows. Spider-Man Web of Shadows was like the last Spider-Man game, I think, before the one that just came out. Because like that was like a Spider-Man game where they had or it was choice based. Where like it wasn't like multiple choices. It was like a freaking like you good or bad. You could choose to
be like regular Spider-Man, or you could choose to be like Venom.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
I mean, shoot, they did better with their choices than Telltale's because your choices actually matter at the end.
There's a Spider-Man Telltale game?
No.
Where are we going?
Why do you have that picture up there?
Yes.
I'm back. Sexual violence. This podcast is not the most professional thing I've ever done.
No, it's fine.
Are they ever? Are they ever? Let's ask that question real quick.
I would like to talk about the new Spider-Man games. It's the amount of detail that they have, not just on the gameplay, but on the story quality as well. For example, for example,
what'd you say?
Like, you know,
I haven't played it yet.
You mumbled so much. I didn't understand what the hell you just said.
Yawning at the same time.
It's this picture right now.
Back on topic. What I was saying is that the voice actor for Spider-Man, Yuri Lowenthal, he had to. I think he had to voice like 2 different lines for every time he was outside in the open world, because apparently I looked at Twitter and there was an video about Spider-Man voice acting, that when he was web singing and stuff, he would actually like talk a bit more in a different tone than when he was in still or something. For example, there was a dialogue option while he was fighting. You will actually feel that his dialogue was a little bit more different than if he was just talking normally or walking.
That's cool.
I actually like that type of detail in the gameplay, since it has to. They had to pick for the voice actor, since he had to voice 2 different type of lines. And
What the fuck?
That's similar to kind of like how I think you noticed it, Sean, when you played Origins, and you put like a helmet on.
Oh yeah,
And
I
like
love shit like that.
I don't think it was a different line. It was just maybe like an overlay in the sound
No,
design.
the audio of him speaking was more dynamic to what he was wearing. So if he wore
Yeah.
like one of those commander Persian outfits, he would be slightly muffled because he had a scarf over his face. If he was just wearing a hood, he'd be clear. But if he was wearing a helmet, it would sound a little echoey because he was speaking in one of those big helmets. And I really like small shit like that. It's nice. It breathes freshness to my
They're
soul.
supposedly not bringing that back for Odyssey, which kind of sucks.
Well, that's kind of stupid and inconvenient considering you're going to be wearing a bunch of helmets.
But a lot of them should be like open face,
I heard on
like
Odyssey, like you can
not
unlock
open face,
a
but like
towel outfit.
not like full face.
I guess it's a pass.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think that's really cool. But that type of stuff, and I think is somewhat the best stuff. Like if you get that down, like you've made a good game, because that's the stuff that people are going to notice. If you have this, same walking animations, and it doesn't really matter. Like nobody's going to really notice that. You're going to see that like 100 times every time you play. But when you when you implement stuff like that makes the game feel more real and more dynamic, then it's pretty cool. And I think Insomniac were probably the best choice to make this game, because I recently played Sunset Overdrive like just a couple months ago, and like thinking about it, like
trailer on?
Huh?
That one game you made a trailer on?
Yeah.
That was made by Insomniac?
Yeah, that was Insomniac. That was an Xbox exclusive.
Oh, okay.
But just thinking about like the traversal and stuff in that game.
Yeah, I agree with you. I really
The traversal and stuff in that game, like
I really like their style and how they make action hero games.
Yeah, and like even like that, like their style just it. Obviously, I think it wasn't as what do you call that? Satirical, I guess you would say. Spider-Man isn't going to be taking on that satirical tone that Sunset Overdrive had a lot of. But it just, they were perfect to take on a Spider-Man game. I don't think any other studio could have been as good of a choice. Given
come on, I just heard the word choice.
No.
Forget.
No, we talked about that.
Telltale needs
the
to
Galaxy
just completely remaster fucking their whole design choice.
Or revamp it.
They have fallen.
Yeah, it's not cute anymore.
Other than
what?
Like,
I like
other than like the Walking Dead stuff.
Yeah, I like that stuff.
Like the story they've got is fine, but me and Donnie has had a conversation about how we don't like their choices that you make in the game don't really matter.
It's almost like we had a podcast about that. Hey, by the way, guys, make sure you guys check out part 1 of the podcast that we did a couple weeks ago.
Oh, you guys already that's
we had a choice-based games podcast.
Oh man, fucking.
But not only that, but like even their art style is just getting like dated. Like, dude, watching the Guardians of the Galaxy and watching freaking Star-Lord trying to jig, he looks so awkward. Like he's spazzing or something. Like, their art style needs to get a revamp too. Like, I don't like it anymore. It was cool on PS3, but
the art style that I like the best is The Wolf Among Us. That one is beautiful.
That I can agree. Wolf Among Us is. I think I only watched the first season, but from what I watched, it was.
Yeah, the second season's
not
yet.
The art style works for games like that, because both Walking Dead and The Wolf Among Us seem like they're trying to take more of like a comic book approach.
Yeah, because it's based off the comic book.
Yeah, and The Walking Dead, like, remember that one shot when you were showing me the 15-minute gameplay and I showed you, like, it looked like it was directly, like, an homage to the comics?
Yeah, dude, I made a freaking theory off of that. Like, I got a theory about, like, it helped me backed up my thing where I think Clementine's gonna die, because on one of the scenes of the trailer, right? Like, she, like, had that, like, lighting on her for a second, like, how it looked all gray and stuff for, like, walkers and stuff. It had that lighting on her. and then like they're constantly giving her hints that she's gonna die. You know.
Yeah, but like it works for that. But when you're making the games like Guardians of the Galaxy, or like Back to the Future, like those games where like they just look too cartoony, like I don't like it. It doesn't sit well with me. And it doesn't help that any of the choices don't affect anything.
It's less of their style for me, and it's
Yeah.
more of their animations. Their animations get really jank and awkward.
Yeah.
In a lot of their scenes. And
Most of the time they can look pretty stiff.
yeah, they look really stiff. A lot of times really lifeless, jank, they stutter. Like I don't care about their artistic design for how they make their video games, but I do really care about animations, because there were a lot of times when I was playing Wolf Among Us, Walking Dead, Batman, even their Borderlands series, where it brought me out of it with that fucking jank stutter. Sometimes it would kill the frame rate, take a long time to load. Fucking watching this frame by frame gameplay.
What that happens for
Yeah.
you?
A lot, yes.
Man, they gave you the bootleg version.
Well, I do play it on console, so.
Yeah.
But still,
It's
even
defensive,
PC suffers from that stuff too, occasionally.
Yeah, can't relate.
Can't relate. Is
Can't
complaining
relate.
about getting a CPU.
Well, pickle is cage.
I mean,
here.
a Telltale choice-based game is different from high-demanding freaking games that come out recently. Like, man, if I try to... Like, if they catch Spider-Man out for PC, I would not be able to run that. I can already tell I would be able to record that.
What?
Can't relate.
What was the
Can't relate,
subject
doesn't make
of the
YouTube videos.
podcast again?
Superhero and comic book people and video games?
That helps me so much. So,
You're welcome.
what's the subject for this podcast again?
I don't know.
Superhero and video
Whether or
games.
not superheroes mix well with video games.
Okay, so it's
Going
just
on a bit of a
superhero.
tangent,
Do
but-
superheroes mix well in video games?
I'm trying to do like comic books kind of too. So like another point that I wanted to bring up was like if you were to like slap Dread onto Cyberpunk 2077, that would be legitness. Like that would be a dope Dread game. Like everything about Cyberpunk 2077 just feels so Judge Dredd.
Who? No,
So I think it just depends on like what you're doing with what you have. Like I say, like I'm not really a big fan of like those fighting games with the superheroes, but when you take a superhero world like they did with Spider-Man, or like they did with Batman, or just anything that they've really put work into rather than just different move sets, like it really works. So if you were to, like I say, like if you were to put Judge Dredd over what they've done with Cyberpunk, oh my god, that would be so legit. Not that Cyberpunk needs Judge Dredd, but like I think that would work. Like if you mixed him in there somehow.
Definitely as a reference. Like a nice
Not even just a reference, but like let's say hypothetically that was the game. Like it was Judge Dredd. Like either you're involved with crime and the judges are coming after you, or you take the place of Judge Dredd, or like just something in regards to that. It would work. Like I think like how they were bringing up earlier, like if you were to take away the superhero and if it's a good game by itself, then it would probably work as a superhero game. Like that's an example of if you just had the game by itself, you put the superhero over it or a comic book character, it would totally work.
Masterpiece.
I think Cyberpunk would totally work as a Judge Dredd game.
As a
But-
Doctor Disrespect 1993,
It's a
1994
shame
back-to-back
it's
champion,
not
I
what it
agree.
is.
1993.
1994.
You guys hear that shit that's going on with fucking Dr. Disrespect?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
showed me.
Yeah, I heard about that. He was
Yeah.
shot at.
That shit's fucking nuts.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that really-
Apparently,
Yeah.
they shot his house the other day too, so he got his house shot in a
2
row.
days in a row.
What a bunch of cowards.
Yeah, 2 days in a row.
Yeah, I hope he's
When would you
hoping him and his family are doing okay.
Yeah, and like what's it called? Like like some people, like I was like looking at like on social media, like some people like didn't even care because of like the scandal, like with him cheating and stuff. They're like, oh, I don't care if he gets shot. He's no piece of shit. It's like piece of shit or not, like his family's in there.
Those people are so fucking arrogantly stupid that talk like that. It upsets me.
Yeah, it's like he has a wife and a daughter.
Yeah, we all can agree cheating was wrong.
Yeah.
And we all can agree that he didn't need to even come out with that, but he did. And he's still with his wife. We don't know what's going on with him. We don't care. But it seems fine. So why should we keep fucking bagging on him for one mistake that he made and just keep it relevant when it's not?
Yeah, I mean,
it's so aggravating that people talk like that and think like that and feel like that. It's a waste of space.
I personally don't care about what he's done. I haven't talked to him about it. I haven't gotten his input on it. I only hear what other people talk about.
Yeah.
So it could have been very misconstrued or exaggerated. I haven't talked to his wife, him, his fucking kid. So I don't care. But I will not listen to that and then speak hate on him enough to say I don't care if his house gets shot. Like, that's just not something you want to say.
No, that's stupid.
I don't even think it's like I think the people that are doing that are doing it just to fuck with him, because it's like they're taking one shot at him with a gun.
Well, regardless, like, that's a terrifying thing to live through. Imagine,
it's
you're a popular
terrifying.
streamer and you live in your house with your family, your wife and your kids, and someone who knows where you live, knows who you are, comes to your house with a gun and shoots at a window. Even if it's once or twice, that's beyond just fucking with someone. That's like a statement saying, "Hey, I know where you live. I can end every one of you if I want to." Like, it's such a fucked up thing to do. That guy needs to go to prison.
Yeah,
like, I don't care about what Dr. Disrespect has done to deserve, or not to deserve, but like to bring this hate on him. It's not worth it. Like, I'm not going to shoot at somebody that made a mistake that I don't like, that I disagree with. I'm not going to do that. It's a very, very immature thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus especially this is going to affect him mentally too, since he's pretty much going to be living in anxiety that any time of the day he can get his house shot at. And so nowhere is safe, because one of these days, if they just keep continually shooting at him, one of these days one of those bullets will actually hit him or his wife and kid. So
Yeah,
he's gonna have to move out and not tell anybody.
And it was like crazy, like some of the comments that I was seeing, right? Like someone said, "Oh, he can't possibly be shot up, you know, because he's middle to high class, or he didn't get shot up. He got up for 2 seconds and he was fine." That dude was gone for like he was gone for a while, and he got out of character. He was just dropping the F-bomb over and over again, and you're just saying just because he's a middle to high class that he can't get drive-by? Like, come on.
Yeah, and how do they know? Like, because I haven't seen the original stream. Like, what if the stream was like cut in a certain way? Like, you don't know, dude. Like, we didn't get to see what was shot. We only get to see like him come back to the stream, so we don't know how bad the damage is. Like, dude, just pray for the best.
Yeah.
Keep him in, you know.
That his house got shut up. I think the damage was that they shot a window down.
Yeah, they shot second floor window.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dangerous. I mean, anybody could be there anytime.
Terrifying thing to do, to go through.
He's probably gonna have to move out to another state or another. He has to move out and just not tell where he lives. To be honest, I mean, it's dangerous when you're a Twitch streamer at that size, since show your face and stuff. Since people will know where you live and stuff. It's very dangerous.
Yeah, that's it. Like, just the fact, like, you're just streaming, you're just trying to entertain people, and then like just to hear shots go off and stuff, and it's like it's not even the first time. It's like not even twice. It's 2 days in a row. Like,
exactly.
That's crazy. Like, maybe like
I know this is probably like really, really bad to say, but I want to see someone edit that video and like put like Big Shaq
Boom.
Just like in a pum pum pum, like in him looking over like skinny pop. That would be freaking hilarious. But no, I I don't know like what he has to do, like what his course of action is now, being that supposedly it happened
he's streaming
twice.
again.
Yeah, it's freaking. Is that David Hasselhoff?
No, it was Will Ferrell.
Dude, you're really distracting me with this shit.
You don't have to have Discord open, Lamau.
Okay, I think its best course of action is just report to authorities, or at least just lay low for a while until the situation's sorted out.
I no doubt that I'm pretty sure he's alerted authorities. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Especially,
it would be a dope ass game.
What?
A Hawkeye game. A Hawkeye game would be really dope. Because like, if
you're only
you look
saying
at,
that because he has a freaking bow. Shut up.
Oh yeah, brother. If you look at games like Horizon Zero Dawn, or
oh
like,
my god, are we gonna be running around for 2 hours doing nothing?
Hell yeah, brother. Or like even like Tomb Raider, like how she uses the bow.
I don't know.
It's
who would he go against? Who would like
any of the villains in the Marvel universe?
That's a dumb answer.
Taken down by Hawkeye.
Wait for Hawkeye versus Thanos.
Not to throw
yeah, my dude.
Hawkeye, but it has to be someone that's weak enough that could be beaten by him.
Yeah.
He can beat anyone.
No, you can't. Shut up.
Yes, he can. All he has to do is pull out the right arrow.
It doesn't work like that.
What?
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Trust me.
No, it doesn't.
Have you read any of the comics, my dude?
Have you read any comics? I don't think you have.
No, but like,
exactly.
What do you call it? I think that would be a dope game. Like every time there's a game that there's a bow in it, like see, that's all I use. So having a game with him, like Assassin's Creed Origins, Horizon Zero Dawn, Tomb Raider, like any of those games that the bow is. I mean, for Horizon, it's like kind of integral, but like for other games where like you
if
have
Horizon didn't have a bow, you would see that it's so boring just running around like a bunch of times, like seeing like grass for like 30 minutes straight, trying to get your next objective.
Bro, what are you talking about?
I think he's referring to the bow as a mode of transportation.
Transportation?
Bro, you shoot the arrow and as you shoot it, you grab onto it.
You could call it just have him hop on your arrow like in Civil War. Dude, it'd be awesome.
I just put a rope, tie a rope to your arrow and just put it on your leg, and woof, your instant transportation.
Yeah, fast travel
like that. That's how they do it in Skyrim.
Pay us, no kidding.
I would like a good Iron Man game.
Dude, have you ever played the Iron Man game though?
I have. The first two.
It was hard as hell, dude.
The third one was shit.
It was the one that I played was really hard. No, I thought they only made one.
Yeah, no, they made two.
Two?
Yeah.
Well, Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2?
Yeah.
I only played the first one. That's hard.
Yeah, the first one was my favorite
but then again,
one.
Every game that I played when I was a little kid is hard when I think about it.
No, that game was pretty tough. It was really annoying.
Yeah.
But
where Tony Stark had to do his taxes.
I'm too young to understand. What are these taxes, man?
Could you imagine if they start to do like a MCU but with the games? Like if they launch this Spider-Man off and
bro, if they had Iron Fist if they had Daredevil as a video game, bro. Dude, that'd be sick.
Happened?
Daredevil.
I'd be disappointed.
Dude, Daredevil.
Yeah, I think it'd be dope if they like brought in like other characters, and like even if you got to do something like Battlefield, where like you did stories through other characters' perspective. That way it's not just like a whole game dedicated to a certain hero. I think that'd be hard to do for some heroes. But if you did like certain stories with some heroes, like that'd be legit.
Or just be give enough screen time for everybody so they wouldn't feel left out.
Just something like that, where you switch off maybe between certain heroes, like you like what if they did, or like what about that Avengers game that's being made by Square Enix? Like what's going on with that?
They're making one?
I've heard everything about that game.
Yeah, like
it was announced forever
Same
ago.
People who made Life is Strange in Tomb Raider, right? Wait, did Square Enix?
Yeah, that's those people. They're making that game.
Yeah, so I wonder how they're gonna do that.
Strange?
I love Life is Strange. I don't know how I feel about the second one though. I'm not even gonna lie, just because they don't have Chloe and Max, I don't know how I feel about it. And I watched the trailer, it doesn't look that good to me. I watched the trailer, I looked at it as okay, they're not a part of the story anymore, but even after watching it, I'm like...
I didn't know fucking they published that shit.
What?
Yeah.
Fucking Life is Strange.
Squid Enix.
Did you see Life is Strange 2 trailer?
No, I don't care about Life is Strange.
You don't have to care about it to watch a trailer. That makes no sense.
It's just a
Hey,
Telltale game.
Hey man, did you eat? No, I don't care about eating. Fuck eating.
Marcus is just pointing a gun at him. You need to watch this trailer now.
You're comparing.
I eat like a
comparing
fucking dinosaur.
You're comparing an actual like physical need.
What are you talking about? I don't eat. What the hell?
Just a video.
I breathe.
What are you're talking shit about me eating? What the fuck?
What?
Calm down.
Oh my god.
What?
Okay. So yeah, I don't care about Life is Strange. I played it.
Dude, that like, what does that have to do if you're not watching a trailer? That makes no sense.
Because I'm not gonna watch something that I'm not interested in about.
I don't believe that.
I'm not.
I
gonna
guarantee
go
you,
and
if you
a
watch
kids
multiple
movie
videos,
because
I
my
guarantee you,
niece
if you
is
watch
watching
multiple things that you have no interest in.
What?
Okay,
So when you're scrolling through your YouTube feed, you just click on the one that you don't want to watch.
Yeah, sometimes I get bored.
What? Oh my god.
Like, if I saw Predator versus Godzilla, yeah, I'm gonna click on that because that's interesting.
Didn't you like want to see Predator, but it took you like 7 years to click on the trailer?
I'm not gonna click on a trailer for a sequel of a game that I have no interest in, because I'm not gonna play it. I'm not gonna care about even considering it because I just don't want to play a game like that.
What? You don't care or consider about people? What's wrong with you?
About people?
Why did that go to there, Marcus?
What happened?
You don't care about the children?
Oh my god, you don't? What's wrong with you?
It's like it's like
you don't care about the injustice?
It's like
racist.
It's like you talk about your like just doing math homework. It's like, hey, dude, what's fucking 7yx divided by z carry the x? And fucking Marcus comes in. Hey, guys, you don't care about my birthday?
I'm celebrating, but you don't care.
Okay. You don't care about English?
No, yeah, that was a better.
Yeah, you're.
Yeah,
I just do it. I'm all about good grades in English class.
I'm curious to see like what we're gonna get with that Avengers game.
What? Justice League?
Cause it just I don't know, like I really like this style that they've done with the Batman. Like I didn't play too many of the Batman games. I only played the newest one, which was really dope with like the Batmobile and shit. Like when you were just like chilling and Batmobile come around the corner, you just jump in. Like, oh man, that was dope. Or even like the rope launching and stuff. Like the only thing that I didn't like about the
What?
Yeah, the grapple gun. And you'd grapple, and then you'd like start flying. That was
gliding.
Gliding. But like the only thing I would say I didn't like about that game was like how it was constantly night and raining. It's like
it all took place in one day. In one night.
But yeah, I think it had to be that way because what's Batman
the
in
context
the day.
of the story.
Batman in the day. That's a man with freaking. This is nice suntan.
That's like watching Life is Strange 2 trailer. Like why would you?
What?
Fucking murdering people with guns.
But why would you? Well, why would you?
What happened?
Well, why would you?
The only time Batman comes out in the day is when he's murdering people with guns.
What?
You know,
yeah.
Gunman.
I like this dedication that they showed with Spider-Man, which is very similar to the dedication that they showed with Batman.
I'm confused.
The dedication to the character and like the world that they built, and I like how it's not like. Not yet. Like I've watched a lot of
God
gameplay.
damn it, Anthony.
You're a dick. Like I can tell from the dude, like I fell in love with the game
But
as
how you
soon
gonna
as
tell
I
it's a
saw
good game if you didn't play it, huh?
You watch gameplay,
because
Marcus.
I've
Use
listened
your
to other
head.
people say it's a good game, so I'm gonna draw my opinion from what other people are saying.
Oh, but I felt like it wasn't an accurate representation until you played it yourself.
Salty. Nobody likes
I love
right?
I love what I see so far. I don't know about the game as far as playing it, but I love what I see. I love that I got to see Stanley,
Alright.
which kind of
Spoiled
What do you
for
do
you.
in the context of the
it was
game?
spoiled. It was spoiled for me, but it also kind of saddened me. Not so much that it was spoiled
Wait,
for me,
there's
but it saddened me
Stanley?
because
Really?
but it saddened me because I don't want this to turn into his cameos now after what we saw with Deadpool 2.
Are you done with movies? Just going to
Because
video games now?
yeah, because
He's a
like
pretty old guy, so it's understandable.
like have you seen Stanley lately and like have you heard him talk? He sounds like he's gargling like rocks, dude.
He's gonna die.
Oh my god, it
Why'd
really
you say that?
it depresses me
man's
every time I think about it.
Like 98 years old. He's gonna fucking die.
Just because you're
But
not
he's gonna-
interested?
He's gonna die in like some sick ass sex party though, because he's that much of a baller still.
Because he's not interested? What?
You're a dick, Marcus. Oh my god. No, Stanley is the true hero. He's the true superhero.
I mean, he does have his
And
own superhero. It's literally God in the Marvel universe. I'm not
I'm
kidding.
gonna like really be sad when he's gone.
It's probably gonna be in like a week or two.
You guys gotta stop saying that. I'm a legit cry.
Fuck, bro.
No.
I'm sorry.
If this man does not die on his 100th birthday, they're fucking the end of all worlds will happen.
All worlds?
They're just gonna have to revive him at that point.
He can't die at that point if he doesn't.
He's
die
gonna
on
get
his 100th.
frozen in carbonite.
We have to wait till the Avengers 2 movie where he appears to fight Thanos.
I want it to be his 100th birthday. He blows out the candles and then he just fucking plops his fucking old man gruff face into his cake and just sleeps forever.
No.
That's
Let's not-
that's how he
let's-
dies.
let's-
That's how he dies.
Okay, let's not share our fantasies of
Oh
somebody
my
else
god!
dying.
Don't look at that. That
I
was
think one more thing about I can say about the Spider-Man games is that I think I remember one thing that happened on Twitter that was controversial, and it was a Easter egg where somebody Okay, so here's the context of the story. There was one dude on Twitter that asked Insomniac Games to see if they could put he would use it to propose to his girlfriend.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Uh, you
Wait,
remember?
what? He can use what to propose his girlfriend? What?
He asked Insomniac Games if they could put an Easter egg in the new Spider-Man game so that he could use to propose to his girlfriend. And Insomniac Games actually did it, and they put a part in the map where you know how in the old times there was a movie screening and they would just put bold letters in a white space right there in front of the building. Yeah, so they did that. Instead of a normal movie, a made-up movie, they just put the words Maddie, will you marry me? That Insomniac Games put for the guy. And apparently, the day that the game released, he put a video about that statement saying that his girlfriend broke up with him.
And then went out with his brother.
What?
This part.
Real
she had no
soap
interest?
opera
What?
shit.
Apparently, the concept is that they've been dating for the last 5 years.
Yeah,
Broke
they've
up
been
and-
dating for 5 years. They were like 20 years old. And
yeah.
it's told like a fucking soap opera story. He proposes to her in a video game. She's like, nah, dude, I don't want that. They break up, and then she ends up dating his
Are
brother.
you serious?
Yeah.
Whoa,
But did you see
hold
her
on.
statement on it?
No.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a part. That's a part I'm gonna go for. Her side of the story.
Yeah, her side of the
somebody-
story sounded so much realer. Like it sounded
Well, because us.
Wait, what did she
as a
say?
male
No,
species-
shut up, Mel.
We're
Shut up,
that
Mel
part, just-
Specimen. Let me hear her story.
Okay, her side of the story was that she actually was getting tired of the relationship since she was getting tired of her boyfriend's immaturity in a way, since she would pretty much be constantly telling him to pretty much do work and stuff like that, and he wouldn't help at all. So apparently she was getting tired of the relationship, and I think she didn't like the fact she didn't like video games and stuff. So and so the way that he would propose to her to a video game, she just did not like that. So that was pretty much her last turning point to the point that I don't want to see myself with this guy anymore. So that's where she broke up with him. She said that the part where the guy said that she was dating his brother, that's false too. Because apparently his brother was reaching out to her after the breakup, but they weren't dating or anything. They were just talking, and the guy just got jealous. So he pretty much.
Wait,
So yeah,
they're together. It wasn't like she left him for his brother. They just got so close that it was just like it kind of spiraled into something.
That makes more sense.
But yeah, just like she had like kind of explained that it wasn't really like a relationship anymore. It was more like a mom-son type of thing, and like it just got to a point where
he was very unmotivated.
So like that sounds real. Like that sounds legit. Like, you know, this guy's over here making it sound like she's like a villain or something, and it wasn't like that. I mean, I wasn't there. I don't know how to speak on it, but her side, because she went more into detail than just she broke up with me. You know, so it sounded more legit, and I kind of have respect for her because she sounds more like she's got her head on her shoulders. She knows what she wants, you know, and she just wants to be happy, and she wants the best for him too, you know.
And she tried to improve him and stuff, but he wouldn't change. So yeah, I think it was better for her to break up, since it's better to not be in that type of relationship if you're just getting exhausted and just trying to improve the other partner. Good decision for her to break up with him in the end.
Now about that freaking dude phase, whatever his face is, he's stupid.
Oh, face sensor, bro! Oh my god, bro! Salty, are you there?
No.
Salty.
He actually left. Which, look at that.
Did he really?
Here? I thought he was here.
Salty. What the fuck? Is he asleep again?
He's asleep.
Wow.
I could have swore I heard him talking.
No, he hasn't been talking.
Or maybe we kept running him over again or something.
Probably. He's probably getting Nick right now.
Damn, you abusive friends. What were you saying again about face sensor?
Yeah, talk about that.
Who's the guy?
Idiot.
Wow.
Coming from someone who wants to be a professional gamer and the best at it, is still an idiot.
Why? What did he do?
Don't you? You know what he did.
No.
Marcus, what's the context?
Okay. All right. Just imagine the World Cup or the Super Bowl, the biggest tournament ever, but for Call of Duty, right? Right. And Face Sensor, professional Call of Duty player for Complexity. He his ex-girlfriend Yannette, super beautiful news reporter. So basically, he dumped her so he could be better at Call of Duty. And then he went to the tournament and he got nowhere near first place.
So he lost the tournament and dumped his girlfriend. That's a
hard L.
Yeah.
Just hold this, my dude.
And a harder L, she was throwing shade at him on social media. And this one guy on EG, the team that won the tournament, right, that he saw to win, he was still with his girlfriend. And Yannette commented under there "Oh, true love."
That was the huge bad manners right there.
That is.
You know that Drake meme where he's saying nah to one thing and he's yeah to the other. People started memeing that the nah to and had her face on it and the yeah to a picture of Call of Duty on it. Oh yeah, if you look at that, you can see why he's stupid.
Yannette Garcia?
Yeah.
That's his girl. That's his ex.
Yeah.
Motherfucker,
What?
dude. I didn't know she dated a fucking gamer. She's like wow.
Yeah, crazy, huh?
Gamers, what's up?
What a fucking idiot.
Right?
Boss.
Now
Bro, look,
That's-
his intentions, look, his intentions are, like, I understand his intentions. He says that he wants to be better, you know, he wants to win this, he's been dreaming of this, but, like, you don't have to dump your girlfriend to achieve your dreams. Like, you don't use that as an excuse or, like, saying, like, you're not where you want to be because of her, you know? That's stupid. And that's coming from me who
dump her?
Huh?
How did he even dump her? Like, did they do it personally through text or something?
I don't know.
man, motherfucker probably did it through email.
No, bro, he sent her a PlayStation message.
Yeah.
He did it via smoke signal.
Bro, like,
A message to a bottle.
bro, like if Salty like gets here, he can talk about that. He's like, bro,
I
come
am
on.
so fucking speechless in the amount of stupidity. How can one be so I don't know her. You know? I don't know what kind of personality she is. But I know what kind of personality she has. But that out of the way, he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Fucking that's a hard loss. That's fucking that's anti-hero. That's not superhero.
That's oh my god.
That's sidekick.
That's like
The gamer Virgin versus the gamer Chad.
dude, like I just like
Chad has taken his gun.
that's some shit I'd never do. Like if I was like if like when I reach like a professional level, like at Counter-Strike, like and I have a girlfriend and I'm not doing good, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm not where I want to be because of her. I'm gonna be like, I just need to step my shit up.
No, dude. No, what are you talking about? Fucking no, dude. You gotta look up to the true heroes. Fucking phase that one guy.
Which one?
No.
Is that one guy?
I don't know how many of them there are.
How many
I
face
am
people are
surprised.
there?
There's a lot.
I have not.
I would
Like,
give
1
him
hour,
some
I'm not-
credit.
Oh
he
my
won.
God, Salty, you're back.
Yeah, if he got yo, we're
gonna
talking
wait.
about we're talking about Space Sensor and him dumping Yannette right now.
Salty, you got like extremely quiet.
Yeah, that's just because a lot of people talk.
So put your input.
I feel so bad that we didn't notice that you left.
I didn't leave. I've been here the whole time. It's just
Wait,
a
what?
lot of people talk and have stuff to say. I don't have much to say. I've talked.
We were
with,
like, no, you were not. You were not here because we were like, hey, Salty, were you?
Yeah, we
Was
were
it?
here.
You were
We
not
were here
here.
talking like, oh, Salty.
We were like,
Okay.
we spent a good.
Maybe
5
I was asleep. I'm just. Okay, I think I fell asleep again.
I
okay.
called
I just
it.
don't remember it happening.
I called it.
I don't remember it happening.
Cause,
I
like,
totally don't
scroll
even
up
remember it
at
happening.
Discord
Oh my
chat.
God.
Scroll up at Discord chat. Look at all the ad salties.
Okay, yeah, I did fall asleep.
Yeah, God damn it. We were
Okay,
We were
that's
talking
the
about
thing.
the whole face sensor and him dumping his girlfriend.
Wow.
Me on that, Salty. Mortal did say you have more information on that.
Not like your own opinion.
So my whole opinion about it is that he gave up someone he loved, regardless of what she looks like. Gave up someone that he's supposed to love because of future that he wanted to pursue, and I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. I mean, she was very supportive of him and all that, you know. Like, there was no point in leaving her.
Do you guys know if this was like a dump, or if this was
Dump.
like they broke up?
He dumped her.
Wow,
Do you know
She-
how he dumped her, Salty?
that is
I
tragic.
don't know.
I could
but, like,
probably
from
find it
everything
out
I've
right
heard,
now, honestly.
He was the only one of the two that wanted to break it up.
That is sad.
By the way, I think I fall asleep because I lapse into silence, and then I just don't talk, and then I just fall asleep because I get bored. Sorry.
I wish I could
Sometimes.
fucking go to sleep when I'm bored.
I fall asleep everywhere, and it's a curse. I hate it so damn much. I can't feel my hand. I laid on it weird.
I remember me and Nick were playing For Honor one day. You came into his room with some shit, and he was like, "Oh, hey, talk to my buddy Sean," and you're like, "Oh, hey, Sean." I was like, "Yeah," and you said, "You're a pussy," and then
Yeah.
That's a nice way to greet these days.
It was a good day, good times.
First thing I ever said
Yeah,
to the guy.
it was a dump.
Called him a pussy.
It was a dump.
Did they show how he dumped Immortal?
I think he's just straight up just like, hey, like I want to focus on Call of Duty. I hope for the best of you.
Was
Goodbye.
it via?
Did he do it
Twitter?
personally or did he do it to text?
I think he did it personally, but he announced it to her again. Like, I'm gonna miss her. I hope the best. Like, I'm gonna link the.
I don't know. He has the face of someone that would do it through Twitter.
Watch us. I'll get it to you right now.
He just makes an announcement to Twitter. I dumped my girlfriend.
She sees it. What the hell?
Newscast a sports model. That was in Mexico or whatever. I don't know her.
An unfortunate situation right there.
It feels bad.
Really do go down weird tangents. I went to sleep, I guess, and we were talking about superheroes. And I wake up, and it's like, hey, look at this idiot.
Yeah.
We're just
And then
making
last time,
Yeah, I mean, I
was
don't know all the
asleep
details.
during the conversation about choice in video games, and I woke up, and you guys were talking about like James Gunn.
Yeah, I don't know all the details as far as like, I mean, who knows? What maybe she could have been abusive or something. Like we don't know all the details, but I just think
Well, then
From-
that's why he lost.
from what we
both sides
do
of
know
the
that he quit his relationship with her to pursue that championship and freaking lost.
You know,
Man,
Yeah.
I kind of hope one day I get into an abusive relationship.
Wait, why?
why?
It's a
Why?
weird thing to say.
Just so I can stand firm and defend myself and watch them fail at trying to abuse me.
But that's nothing to be proud of.
It's nothing to be proud of, but I'd like to see it happen.
But what?
Got into
The
bondage or
attempt.
stuff.
Like the attempt.
You into
That's-
that?
I'd like for someone to shoot at me while I have a bulletproof vest on, just so I can stand firm and have that bullet ricochet.
I would be down to do that.
Oh my god!
You
You hear about that one YouTuber who had his girlfriend shoot at him with like a 50, like a Desert Eagle or something? He had like a textbook or something that he was trying to like stop it with,
Yeah.
and he died.
Textbooks.
That was tragic.
No, dude. He should have used a frying pan. Come on.
Oh no, no,
He was wrong from the get go.
he was yeah.
You should have used a frying pan. Put some spam or fucking what is that non-stick shit called?
Pam.
Yeah, you
I
should
used
put
this
that on
flame
there.
pan as a blocking pan.
Dude, I was playing with one of my buddies on PUBG, and I killed this guy and got his loot. He had like a gold M4 and like a pan that had like a target on it.
Yeah.
I thought that was so legit.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, doesn't the pan act like a shield or something?
Yeah, it like deflects bullets from hitting you if you have it like hanging on your belt or if you have it like in your hand.
Just imagine, wouldn't it be such a cool animation of like if you start sprinting towards someone and like you covered your face with it or something and you kind of like lean down a little bit more, or I don't know, something cool like you charge.
What?
It with it. I don't know.
Like the Matrix?
No.
What?
What the fuck?
Some bullet time.
Red Dead?
No. God, you guys have no interest in anything.
What?
No interest in
You
anything.
speak so
talking
fast
about?
and so unclear. It's hard to
I'm not
understand what
even
you're talking
speaking
about.
fast.
Not, you're
Okay, so
not now,
read-
but you're like, you know, it'd be cool
read-
animation and like you and someone.
Marcus,
Not
you said what you were saying.
even.
What is it you were saying?
Well, which part?
No, well, just straight up, what was it you were saying?
No, like you know,
What are you
like
saying?
you said, like if you had like the pan on PUBG hanging down your belt or something. Like, what if if you were running at somebody and like you fucking put it in front of your face or some shit as you're charging at them, or I don't know, like you held it up.
Oh, it's like a block.
Yeah,
Oh, like a shield,
yeah.
like a buckler.
I don't see a problem with that. It already
That'd be pretty dope.
has a purpose. Why not just make it a whole thing?
I mean, just add a ride show at this point.
They do have one.
Wait, they do?
Yeah.
Why would I want to
Dude, they
ride
have like a
though?
freaking muscle car, like a convertible muscle car, and it sounds so legit when you're driving. It's really loud, but it's
PUBG?
legit. Yes, it's like blue. Well, the one that I found was blue.
It's like blue.
It's like blue. Let me see if I can find it. Oh my god, it's like the best thing ever.
It's like Joe Rogan had sex with another Rogan Joe.
Yeah.
That's what the engine sound.
Yeah.
You know, that actually. Oh boy. Oh, that's great.
What'd you say?
Let's have a...
This is a bad picture, but I'll show you a little bit right there. A little sneak peek.
peek.
All right, here's another one.
Oh.
You know, that looks like a clip from Fast and Furious.
Yes, but you
Out
can
in the
see Vin
countryside.
Diesel's head,
One's Fast
bald
and
head
Furious.
shining.
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious. One staunch.
They need a death-proof car in that game.
Why?
Hell yeah, that would be dope.
What do you mean, why? It's death-proof.
Well, the one behind
Not
it
interested.
kind of looks a little bit. In the second picture that I sent. But yeah, it sounds so legit when you're driving it. Oh my god.
Oh, sort of.
So let's have a change of topic. Do you guys have any upcoming games that you're excited for this year?
Oh boy!
Well, not this year.
Let me
Go for it.
My number one anticipated game of the year was Ghost of Tsushima, but then once they freaking released that 45-minute gameplay of
That
Cyberpunk
doesn't come out
2077,
this year.
I know, I said not this year.
Then why'd you say? But this year
Red
was going
Dead
to see
2.
to release that 45-minute gameplay.
Okay.
Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out next year.
Stick to the script. Stick to the script.
Red-
I'm
Red
sorry,
Dead
his
Redemption.
script
You
is
didn't-
stupid.
You didn't let me finish. I was
You know,
gonna
this
say.
dictates that I'm still asleep.
I was
I'm not
gonna
supposed to wake
say.
up until like 10 pages in.
Just stay
Oh,
awake,
damn it.
Liz.
I was gonna say
No.
that Ghost of Tsushima was my most anticipated game of the year.
Oh, so
But once they released,
what's the new
Well,
one then
Let
this
the
year?
man finish.
but once they released the 45-minute Cyberpunk gameplay, I really don't know if I'm as excited for Ghost of Tsushima like
That makes
anymore.
no sense.
Like
So what's your
It
number?
does make
so what's your
sense.
number one this year then?
for this year, it's definitely Ghost of Tsushima.
oh
But like
my
it's like
god.
I'm not on the same level of hyped as I am for Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
Like I guess
Unreal
I guess that
Five.
doesn't make sense, but
Well, so it's still your most anticipated game this year, right?
yeah, pretty
That's what
much.
you have
Yeah.
to say.
For me,
Marcus, why are you so mad? It's just game.
God.
For me,
Why do you have
it's
to be mad?
definitely
Just the
100%. Red Dead Redemption 2.
What's that?
I've been waiting for that game for too long.
What?
I like-
What? Did you really just say what's
Marcus?
that?
I'm joking. Relax.
I was about to say you didn't watch the trailer.
Of course I did.
I'm excited for Battlefield 5.
What's that?
You're excited for Battlefield 5?
Yeah.
Oh,
love
me
Battlefield,
too,
man.
my dude.
I'm
It's
excited for
just
the
not
next
on
episode of The
top
Walking
for
Dead
me.
to come out in a week.
I'd say it's on top for me. Just because I know I'm going to play that for like a long time.
I really hope it lives longer than Battlefield 1 did.
Yeah, Battlefield 1 really fell off really fast, didn't it?
It did. It did. It made me
I
sad.
stopped playing like 4 months in.
I think my biggest hype
I came
is-
back
Playing it
like-
right now.
like when we're talking about the game we're looking forward to, like are we talking about one that already came out or the one that hasn't came out yet for this year?
We're just talking about Sean and I are talking
No,
about
Let's talk about Battlefield.
I'm talking about what Steve said.
You
That
played
was
the beta, right?
stupidest answer ever.
Played what?
You played the beta, right?
No,
I haven't played the beta.
You haven't
I
played
don't-
the beta?
no.
I don't spoil myself on betas. I wait for the actual game. I just watched gameplay footage, and I've seen gameplay footage of Battlefield 5, and it looks really fun.
Oh man, fucking
Looks really
playing
bad.
betas
Wow.
is super important though. You gotta get. You
I don't
gotta.
spoil myself on the game. I don't even play the game.
You gotta.
I don't even buy it.
You gotta give your input on how bad it is or how great it is.
Well, I know. I just don't play betas very often.
Yeah, that's understandable.
It's too much of a hassle for me. Like,
Because you're an
to care about
Omega
the
Male,
game.
is that it?
Omega what now?
Omega lol.
No.
Omega
I thought from what I was able to play that like 10 minutes of the beta, it was pretty dope. Like it definitely does feel a lot different from Battlefield 1, even though it still feels very similar in a way.
I get you.
They all feel similar, but this one was really weird because Battlefield is typically a fast-paced shooter, and with this beta, they kind of slowed it down a little bit with the revive changes.
Battlefield
the ammo
fast
The
Fast
revive
pace?
was fucking annoying.
dude,
I actually like it.
dude,
I actually like
I can't
like the
tell
idea
you
of it.
how angry I got over it.
About over what?
But to what you're saying, Salty, I agree. I like the change. I like it when formulas for games and series change because
Because your
it
interest?
just makes it more fresh, keeps it around longer, and that's
The thing is,
also sadly what's killing this game is because of the trailer. No one liked the trailer. Everyone's hating the game.
True.
They're changing the formula. People are like, "What the fuck is this? This isn't Battlefield." It's getting more hate.
you could say
There's a lot of
the
shade
same
getting
things
thrown
about
with the
Battlefield
president of EA or DICE or whatever fucking stepping down. People are like, "What the fuck?" It's just a scary position for Battlefield to be in because it's also being released alongside, or would have been released with Black Ops and
They pushed
Red
it back.
Dead.
Yeah,
pushed
it's in
it back.
November now.
But they just released a thread talking about all the changes that they are going to be making and planning, and like a road map type thing for pre or for launch and post launch stuff of all the fixes, and a lot of people are on board with it, and a lot of the changes sound nice. Only thing that I could say is doesn't sound as exciting is the battle royale. Call
Wait,
of Duty.
Battlefield has a battle royale now?
Battlefield has a battle royale.
You
It's
didn't know
called
Call of Duty
Fire-
had a battle royale? It's called
Yeah,
Black
both
Ops.
of them have it.
Knew Call of Duty had a battle
Wow.
royale since they were going to replace a campaign for it, but I didn't know Battlefield had a battle royale.
Yes.
You didn't know Call of Duty had a
Battlefield
battle
has a
royale?
battle
Battlefield is having a battle royale. It's called Firestorm. It's a big sandbox map. You know, it's vehicles. It's battle royale. What makes it not sound interesting anymore? Black Ops. I didn't care about it. I saw some Dr. Disrespect playing it. I was intrigued by it. I saw more YouTubers play it. I was pleasantly surprised with how it looks. It actually looks pretty all right.
And you're gonna love it,
It's-
Marcus, since you like the first person.
It's 80 players.
I'm sorry
and
if that's
Dev-
more legit, because the third person, it's so cheeky. All you have to do is stand behind a wall and you can see like where they are and hide.
cares.
Who is that
The one
talking?
thing
Who
that
just
I-
said nobody cares?
So Treyarch
No, it's probably
said
Blind
that
Blind
it's-
Prophet.
right now in the beta, it's 80 players for Call of Duty, the Battle Royale. It's
88,
players, but
motherfucker.
they're doing tests that have about 100 players. So
115
The-
max, motherfucker.
the numbers of people that can be in Battle Royale could change.
It's gonna be
increased,
motherfucker.
And DICE,
Yeah.
DICE, let me tell you something that's just incredibly disappointing. They said their Battle Royale currently, their max players is a whopping 64.
Why?
What?
I
Their
don't have a problem with that.
average
Yeah.
server count is 64.
Well, that's like I don't think that a battle royale is judged like it. I don't think a
Oh
quality.
yeah, no,
quality
it's
of a battle
absolutely
royale
not. It's
relies
just,
on like the
it's-
amount of players in it. Like I
it's
think
just so weird.
Yes, the problem is that
if you have too
you're-
many players, it could kill the game. You know, like if it has 200 players, those games could go too long. The pace of the action could be too spread out. I mean, you ever heard of Warface? Like it's a it's a tiny little free to play game. They have a 16-person battle royale mode, and apparently it's really good.
Really?
Like I
well,
don't
it
play
depends
it, but
because it depends on the size of the map. If the sandbox map is
exactly.
pretty small enough, so where it makes sense, then yeah,
I mean,
it can work. But if
one of
it's
the
like
reasons-
a huge map, but you only have 64 players, the gameplay is gonna get stale since most of the time you're just gonna be running from place to place, and you're not gonna be finding fights a lot, and it's gonna be either at the only time you're gonna pick a fight is at the end game, and that's not gonna be fun for some people.
Yeah, that's why Fortnite is so much more popular than PUBG, because Fortnite has the same base player count, but it has a much smaller map.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Has like most of the time PUBG and action doesn't pick up until like the very end of the game. There's like the frantic fights at the start of the game, but then the end of the game is where most of the gameplay actually starts running.
Like,
that's why Fortnite is bouncing.
Like with Prophet, like when we play Fortnite, like if we play Fortnite the entire day, we'll get like multiple matches in. Like one day we've actually got like 10 games in, because like it's like fast. It's like different. Some games are long, some games are short, some games have action and stuff. But with like PUBG, it feels like if you like when you land, like you might have a lot of people land there, but as soon as you clear that place out, you're just running against the zone. That's literally what the game is.
It's like
but if you
Battlefield,
if you put the map of PUBG with Fortnite, like it is dependent on the map size. So
I think that's why they did the mini royale. That one is actually way better.
Yeah, when you think of like 64 and you're thinking of pre-existing maps that we have experienced with Battle Royale, yeah, maybe it'd probably be a smaller map and it would reward us with more action than a 100 player larger map.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a map that's actually smaller than a traditional Battlefield map, because if you guys played like Battlefield 3, for instance, had some really big maps, like Operation Firestorm, one of my favorite maps, was super huge. Like most of it was like
on that map, especially when they brought it back in BF4.
Yeah, it was a good map. I love that map, but like that map, I don't think would be good for Battle Royale because there's too much open space. But like if it was
that's where I gotta also bring up that they said that this map would be a big sandbox map and the biggest Battlefield map in Battlefield history.
Oh, shit. Well, maybe it won't.
Yeah, that's where we get into 64 is probably going to be really small. And they also are going to have like tanks and shit.
Yeah, they're going to have tanks. They're going to
they're gonna have everything's fully destructible.
Boats, planes.
That might be a bit of a mistake. We'll just have to wait.
Yeah, we just have to wait.
Man, you're in a top 4 situation. You know, duos. Man, you and your boy are running, and you just see them in a tank coming at you. Ah, shit.
You're gonna have to balance out. The tank will probably be slow enough to the point that it can't outrun the storm.
Well, that's the thing though, because most tanks in Battlefield games are faster than just running.
Yeah.
So if they keep base rules, then if you find the tank and there's no way to beat the tank, then you basically won the game. And you can just fuck off and just be on your own. Like go to the center of a circle. Okay, now I'm kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's going to be good, but
what concerns me a lot more is how the gameplay for Battle Royale will take place, because in regular multiplayer matches, you can die really easy in Battlefield 5 compared to all the other Battlefield games. It's like playing on hardcore. Your health pool is it's more minuscule. And headshots matter way more than they did in previous titles.
I heard about that.
And given that, that was also the same thing I was about in Call of Duty, but they brought in the armor stuff, and I was
that looked dope.
Yeah, and that's where I felt comfortable, because I don't have to worry about getting fucking quick scoped by some fucking tryhard wannabe 360 no fag fucking motherfucker.
Yeah, and it didn't look like Fortnite where like you could legit get scoped even when you had shield on.
Yeah,
I saw Dr. Disrespect playing, and like it looked like he got some good shots on people, but they still had their armor.
Yeah, and
wait for which game?
I never thought
Blackout.
I saw that too.
I never ever thought I would be intrigued by another Call of Duty game, and the day has come. I may
the reckoning.
I may I made GameFly that game.
You
I
have
think the
you have
appeal that
GameFly?
I was wondering what to break first.
You think it's
He's
worth?
at
You
it.
think,
It's
you think GameFly is worth it if you have a job? Like if you don't want to like, well, you think GameFly is better than like just paying $60 for like games that come out?
Absolutely.
ended or something. Can't believe it's still going.
If you put down a game that you want to rent, comes out and you get it launch day, it's absolutely worth it.
Wait, GameFly gets it to you by launch?
Yeah, if you're lucky enough to get that queue out of all the people that are fucking that queue it in their
So you think
mail.
you save more money by doing that instead of just buying the game?
Yeah, especially if the game is like 8 hours short and stuff.
Yeah.
Alright,
That way you don't have to shell out $60.
let me look up
I mean,
like how much GameFly is. I'm about to get it right now.
It's what it is. You get it. It's like $12 a month. For one game.
Spider-Man right now.
It's like 24, $28 for 2 games a month.
You said 28 for wait. You said I'm sorry.
It's like 28 or $30 for 2 games a month.
Oh, okay.
And half that for one game. It's very cut and dry and simple. You rent the games, you play them. If you like them, you could pay them through GameFly, and they'll send you a case with the little manual thing. I rented Persona 5 from it, and I bought it when it was like $20 on there.
Nice.
And they actually sent me the case with the little fucking PS4 controller skins with it. So they do actually give you like what you would buy brand new at GameStop or Best Buy if you do choose to purchase it.
I still wait for the game to go to like $30 for gold.
Yeah, and you can do that too.
That's my rule with like single player games. Any game that's single player that like doesn't need online, I'm pretty much gonna wait till it goes on sale. But multiplayer games like that need to be played online, I'll get them pretty much new.
And if you like it, don't want it, but you want to finish it or dabble around with your friends or whatever, you can keep it as long as you want, and then you just send it back and you can get another game.
Oh snap! Right now it says
and you can also get movies and last gen and classic gen games as well, like Xbox One or fuck you, Xbox original, Wii games, PS3, PS2. You can get those.
Right now, it's 2 games or movie at a time for $13.50 for 3 months, and after 3 months, it's $22.95 every month.
Okay, you're getting them deals.
Yeah, I'm literally getting it right now.
It's worth it. I really like it.
So I'm making a note of it. We've been going for 2 hours almost.
Really? Wow.
Holy
This is a
we only talked about the subject for probably like 3 minutes.
I mean,
Yeah, I slept for half.
That's what we do. Honestly, I don't mind it. Honestly, because like it's fun.
So an Xbox has to have multiple topics at least predetermined. That way we don't go off topic a lot.
So is this where we end it?
I'm down.
I think it's a good point to stop.
Is this where the road ends?
Is it really?
You want to play some PUBG?
Sure.
Is it
That's
Jay?
fine.
You want to play some PUBG, Marcus?
I don't know.
Oh, that's pretty enthusiastic. So who's gonna do the outro and stuff?
Goodbye, you motherfuckers.
Thank you guys so much for watching
how
MortalTales
we
Part
do
2. If
it.
you guys enjoyed, guys like, comment, and subscribe. Check out people's respectable channels like the Blind Prophet and the Midnight Trains channels. Hope you guys enjoy. Salty Rootbeer has a YouTube channel, but he doesn't post ever. Last time he posted was like 5 years ago. Feedback, he's just here.
I still got to work on a trailer for Rise, so
Check that out.
I'll have stuff on my channel soon.
Yes. check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching.
need
Like,
gold.
comment, subscribe.
Xbox
Roll you
is
guys to the
stupid.
next video. Bye bye.
Buenos noches.
It's me and